Hey guys, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel, Kilos and Cosplay. My name is Sydney, and today we are announcing the giveaway winner and also doing a Q&A for the first time. So that's very exciting. I do want to apologize. I didn't know that you could not comment like username or like, you know, Instagram handles or anything like that in the comments, otherwise I wouldn't have included that, so I'm very sorry about that. But I did already comment to the winner and I'm waiting for them to reply. I'm giving a day, but basically here is the winner. Let's throw it up on screen. So a huge congratulations to you. If I don't hear back in a day, I will pick a new winner, but I want to give a fair time frame to do that because it was kind of a long giveaway. Maybe like a day or two, but that's who currently won. So again, huge congratulations and thank you to everyone who did participate, left a comment. Everything was super sweet. It means the world to me, and I can't wait to see where this channel can grow to. I think the next giveaway, I'm thinking I will do about 5,000 subscriber giveaway. And I would like to do a scale figures though. I mean, the more this channel grows, the more I want to give back and the more epic I would like to try to make the giveaways. So that's just a huge thank you to everyone who does support me, and any way I can give back, I want to. So again, thank you everyone. You are all so sweet. It really means the world to me. I cannot stress it enough. Alright, so let's just move on into the Q&A portion of this video. I have all my questions that you guys asked me off on this side of the screen, so if I'm looking away, I'm looking at my computer. I'll also put the comments on the screen, and if there's any similar comments, I will also just kind of bunch them in together. Alright, so the first question we have is, which BL series do you wish there were figures for? That's a tough one. Okay, so I definitely would love to see scales of Sasuke and Miyano ones. Like, that's like my favorite BL right now. I think they would have such cute ones, especially with their height difference. It'd be adorable. Like, I know we're getting Nendroids, but like, that's not enough. I just want cute scales, like even if it mimicked like the covers of some volumes, I think they'd be so cute. So I'd love to see that. I think Given ones would be really cool. I don't even think we have Nendroids or anything of that announced, but I think if they did like an entire like collect all 4 of them and put them all with their instruments, kind of like that K-On kind of like vibe, you know how that music one, I'll post what I'm trying to describe here, like that type of setup, but Given. I think that'd be really cool. And I think these characters are gorgeous, and that's from Secret XXX and Therapy Game. I just think those would be some beautiful pieces, and I would love to see what they could do with that. But I feel like even in the art book, there's like so many different cool poses that could be like made out of like the Therapy Game like couple or the Secret XXX couple. I just think it would be beautiful. I'd love to see that. What are your most unpopular figure collecting opinions, and which figure would you most like to be re-released or created in the first place? Alright, so I think I'll answer the first 2 of those questions because I think the like which one I'd like to be created in, I think somebody else will ask something similar, so I'll answer that later. When it comes to like the unpopular figure collecting opinions, I don't know if I have too many. I would say 1, I personally don't think like Eastream Spooky Scramble figures are that bad. I definitely see them improving, and I don't think they deserve as much hate as they are still currently getting. I think they're really trying to push the envelopes, and I think they weren't doing an amazing job at first with everything breaking, but I really, with all the improvements that I've been seeing in each one of the figures I've been getting, I don't think they deserve the hate. And honestly, like, I obviously it's super expensive, but like I feel like it's kind of justified with how much they put into it. And the second one I would say is maybe I just really do not like pop-up parades. I feel like a lot of people do. I hate them. I like don't even really like the ones I have myself. So I guess that'd mainly be it that I can think of off the top of my head right now. Because I feel like I don't have a ton. Like, I feel like anything I don't like, a lot of people don't like, or everything I like, a lot of people like. So I'm not so sure. And which figure I would like re-released? One, either of the Noragami, actually any of the Noragami figures. I really, it sucks that they, I just don't know if they will, because I don't know if Noragami has really a big fan base, to be honest. I personally feel like it's very underrated. I would love a re-release of all three of them, and I'd love to see more. And I would also like a re-released Mai from Bunny Girl Senpai bunny figure. I would love a re-release of that, but I want it to have fishnets, and I don't know if we'll get that, because I feel like hers is one that like absolutely needs fishnets. I would deal with a bare leg, but I just want to re-release that so bad. I would also really like a re-release of the 10 count bunnies, mainly just the one I'm missing. And this one that I have really high hopes that it will get a re-release because the anime adaptation will be coming out eventually. That is the Witch Hat Atelier. Those two figures, because some reason their aftermarket just went whew, and I just can't imagine it getting any better. So I would love to see that as well. The next question we have is, do you have a favorite manga / anime character? Do you have a favorite figure of that character? And what is your ultimate grail figure? All right. So the first one, that one's tough. That one is very tough. But one, Ash from Banana Fish, he is one of my all-time favorite characters. I feel like a weird, like, not, like I just want to protect him kind of instinct, like nothing else. It's not like a character I would simp for. He's younger than, he's like underage anyways, he's 17. But it's like almost like a maternal instinct where I'm like, you did not deserve the life you had, and I just want to like protect you. And I do have a figure, actually 3 figures of him. Another one would probably be Toru from Fruits Basket. I really love her. I think she has the sweetest personality, and unfortunately we do not have any figures made of her. We only have pop figures, or like I think some old random ones. She is also one of my favorites. Let's see, another favorite character I have, I have a few, is Joseph Joestar from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. He's personally my favorite Joestar. I know there are figures of him, but I don't really like a lot of them, so maybe one day. And I would say probably the last one I can think of is I really love Yorimichi from Life Lessons with Yorimichi Onisan. I love that one so much. Such a good manga too. But I really relate to those like characters very much, especially him. So I'd love to see a figure, or at least an android made of him, or any of them. I want the whole cast. As for Ultimate Grail, I do actually have one of my Ultimate Grails, and that is the Banana Fish. I think Mega House that makes it. I'm blanking, but I'll put everything up here. But that was like my ultimate grail for a long time, and I did pay a pretty penny for that. The other ultimate grail is definitely the My Bunny figure. Another one would be the Salaryman one. I love any chance that we get lewd male figures, so I'd love to get that. And also these 2 beautiful like casino version, like original character native, I believe. Yeah, native kind of cat girls. Would love to have those, but their aftermarket hurts. But those are like probably the main ones that like I'm always keeping an eye on for a not horrible price. Maybe one day. Alright, next question is your top 10 anime boys and anime couples. Okay, that was tough. I feel like I have a lot of favorites. So I just compiled kind of what I could think of, like right off like that, just like immediately snapped in my head, and I did both 10 boys and 10 couples. I didn't know also the boys if it's like just like kind of a simplest, or if it's like ones I just really like. So I do have some on here that I do just really enjoy their character, but if they're underaged, it's not a simp one. So just throwing that out there. So if they're underage, it doesn't mean I like them in that way. But if they are of age, they're on my simp list. So one would be Kyo, then Captain Yami. It's a big simp list right there. Next would be Kakashi. He is my first like anime crush, so of course he's on there. Nanami. I gotta say, I kind of like the more respectable salary boy as over the Playboy Gojo. I do like Gojo, do not get me wrong, I'm a big like white-haired simp, but there's like a soft spot for me for Nanami, so I put him instead. Next is Ash. We all know from, Ash from Banana Fish. Motherly instinct, that's all I want. I just want to like protect him. Hawk from Yona of the Dawn. I don't know how old he is, so underage, no, but I just really also enjoy his character. Then Gyu from Demon Slayer. I have such a soft spot for Gyu. He's just socially awkward and I relate. He does not deserve the hate from the other Hashiras. He's just awkward. So I just want to like hug him too. He's adorable. Next is Toge from Jujutsu Kaisen. He's just one of my favorite characters. He doesn't say much, but his presence alone is enough. Then Megumin from also Jujutsu Kaisen. Obviously I got a lot of pictures and stuff up. I just have a really soft spot for him too. It's something about kind of like the dark-haired, like broody types I can have a soft spot for, and I feel like he's not like completely against friendships. Like he has his moments, but like I hate when they're like almost like, no, I'm too brooding or perfect or whatever. I feel like he's got a good balance. And lastly, this is a big simp one, Void from Spy Family. Yeah. And then when it comes to couples, this one's tough. Okay, so Kyo and Toru are my like favorites. Absolutely love everything about them together. Then Sawako and Kazuhaya, I think I said that right, from Kimi no Todoke. Absolutely the best shoujo, like one of the best shoujos. So love their dynamic. Then Hori and Miyamura, I really like kind of the like stronger female and shyer characterly. Like he holds his own moments, but I do like kind of that dynamic change. Of course, Sasuke and Miyano, absolutely love them together. And then actually all three of the characters or like couples in Watakoi, absolutely love all of them as well. So I couldn't just pick one of them, so all of them. Also Yuri and Victor, if I'm assuming that counts. I'm assuming that's an official thing, and so they are also a pick. And then also, I would say even Kami-sama Kiss, like Tomoe and Nanami. I think they're a really good match too. I feel like there's more, but I'm just not thinking of. Oh yeah, from Snow White with the Red Hair, sure, I'm gonna butcher her name, so I'll just put up here Sure and Zen. I don't know why I'm about to like say that wrong, but I really love them together as well. And it's like I have to like look around my room and see if I can think of any, but I think that's basically the main ones that I can think of. Those are probably my top ones though, for sure. And here's a question that I think is probably on a lot of people's minds, and that is, how do you afford so many figures? And basically I don't. I'm just in credit card debt. Kidding, but not. I'm not in that bad of a financial place, but it's tough at times. But I feel like overall, like one, how I do this is I live at home. My only main bill is my car, so anything in my car payment, insurance, anything like that, it comes out of my pocket. I take care of that. Then also I work a lot, and I mean a lot. I try to at least always do 20 hours of overtime every single week. So typically instead of a 40-hour week, I'm always trying to at least work 60 or more, but on average I try to hit that 60. So, and I also get paid pretty decent, so not too bad. That's a huge benefit. This is the most I've ever made at a job, so that's exciting. And I think that's about it. I mean, really just living at home, not having added expenses, and having a pretty decent job with a ton of overtime. Next question is, where do you find all the space to display them? I don't. I actually have one just chilling that I gotta try to find a place for. Basically, with kind of how my room is set up, I have cleared out like any extra knickknacks. Because I mean, I really didn't have a lot to begin with, but I tried to clear that out and put figures wherever. Tried to start like an Android shelf and just everything like that. Floating shelves are my best friend right now, so I do put up a lot of floating shelves. I'm actually planning to put up more, so that's kind of where a lot of my pre-orders and new ones will go. And it's a struggle. I really don't have a lot of space. It might come down to either me having to sell some or putting some in a box that I don't care about as much and just kind of rotating which ones get displayed. It might come down to it. But either way, it'd be worth it. Like, I'll do it if I have to, but overall, like, yeah, I'm gonna put up more shelves and hope for the best. Next question is, have you ever had issues with shipping your figures? Personally, I haven't. Yeah, not that I can think of. I've had issues shipping other things before, but overall things have gotten pretty okay. Like, I used to have like kind of bigger issues with getting things from different countries sent here, and like something always felt like it went wrong, but that was like way back then. I think like the system's gotten better, at least around where I live. So I've really not had a huge issue with it myself. Everything's always seemed to clear through. I think maybe in the beginning there might have been one thing that it got delivered at the wrong house. That's the only thing I can think of. But overall, not too bad of an issue. I think the only main issue, if it would even count as one, would be since I use EMS as often as I can, unfortunately, like unlike DHL, they don't have where you can just like e-sign and not have to worry about it, like just no signature delivery and just drop it off. They always require a signature, and they don't have an option online to fill out, which is very inconvenient for people who do work. I am lucky that most of my days I work from home, so only 2 days in 2 days a week I'm in the office, and then also living at home. Like, my mom has a job that she works 3 days a week, so sometimes she can just get it for me, or there's somebody that can do it. But working from home is a huge benefit. There's only been one time where I've had to go down to the post office and pick it up because I missed a delivery. But overall, not too bad of a problem, at least that I've noticed. But again, I'm based in the US. I don't know if there's more problems, like people that have to deal with customs or anything. But I hope I don't jinx that. Next question we have is, if you could have a figure made of any character, a figure that hasn't been made or announced, who would it be and why? Bonus details, any particular outfit, pose, based on a certain illustration. Okay, that one's tough. I feel like I have a few characters that I'd love to see, and honestly, I feel like also a lot of like, some like popular shoujos just don't get figure announcements like ever, because I would love to see any Yona of the Dawn ones. Like, I just want her in like her standard outfit. Like, I would love to see her like posed with an arrow. Now that would be great. I would absolutely love to see that. Like, just like her like usual beautiful outfit with her hair, I'd like it chopped like it was at like after she cut it in the scene, and like an arrow. That'd be fantastic. I would also like any more Fruits Basket figures. Like, we don't get hardly any. We only have Kyo and Yuki, but where's at least Toru? Can we at least get Toru? I'd like her in a matching school uniform to go with them. Also, her sitting would be fantastic with like a little rice ball. Would be super cute. Oh, gosh, I'm sure I have more, but I won't go too into detail. I have so many that I'd love to see, but I think those are like my two like major things I would love to see. That'd be so good. The next question we have is, how can you budget with all the new figures and manga that you get? No, I'm kidding. I feel like it took some time to kind of work it out. I still am not great, but I've gotten a lot better. And the biggest thing is I am constantly looking to the next month of figures. Like, I'm looking at what's happening this month and what's happening next month, so I can kind of plan out what's going to happen, or I try to limit how much I order for certain months with the anticipation of some things. Like, say because June was pretty heavy, or this May was pretty heavy, but a lot got pushed to June, so I kind of kept June a little lighter so it kind of balances out a bit. That's the biggest thing, kind of almost like trying to look ahead. It's tough, but I try to start planning. Okay, so we're gonna have a lot of figures this month. I'm not gonna buy hardly any manga or nearly any manga at all, or any other things. Like, another hobby I have is pin collecting. I won't pick up hardly any more pins, so I really try to limit what's gonna happen if it's gonna be a figure heavy month. If it is not a figure heavy month, I will buy more manga. So that's kind of how I try to balance it. Like, I haven't bought manga in a minute now. Like, it's been like almost an entire month or more, because I knew I was gonna have a very heavy next possibly 2 to 3 months of figures. And figures take priority to me over some manga. Manga's a little easier to access after the fact it comes out. So that's kind of how I'm trying to balance it out. So always trying to look ahead and figure out, okay, so this month's gonna be light, I can get more of this, or if this month's gonna be heavy, it's trying to find that like balance of like what's going on and what do I want to prioritize more. What is a figure that you regret buying, and which figure do you regret not pre-ordering when you had the chance? Oof, okay. So I do have a figure that I regret buying, but I actually sold it recently. It wasn't really anything the design. The design was beautiful, and I'll pop it up. It's like a Madoka Magic one, but she was so fragile, and maybe it's because I bought her secondhand. I don't know. She was so fragile, and every little piece would fall off if you touched her. Her wand broke really easy, like the main part that I really wanted snapped. I tried gluing it. It's just like everything was so frail, even with glue. And at one point she just leaned forward and completely like snapped off the base. So that's exciting. So I ended up selling it for super cheap in that poor quality if someone wanted to try to fix it. I personally just had no more interest. Like, that was kind of my final straw with it. Now for the figures that the figure that I regret not pre-ordering when I had the chance, I think during my time of figure collecting, at least being really active into it, there's 2 that I can think of, and one is the Momoko freeing bunny. I should have done it. Kicking myself on that one. And the other one is the salary man. I literally had a chance to get him on Right Stuff, and I didn't, because I didn't think it would be a huge problem. But you know, you live and you learn. But yeah, I really regret not getting that one. Next question is, have you gotten into an anime series just because you saw how amazing looking the figures of the characters? Yes, absolutely. 2 that I can think of off the top of my head is Konosuba. Really liked all of the figures that they had of them, and I thought the characters looked really fun and cool, so I got into that. And the other one would be The Rising of Shield Hero. I really liked how some of the characters looked and some of the figures that they had, plus also with some re-releases happening, that was a big help. But yeah, I think those are my 2 main ones that I like got into because I liked the figures and I wanted to kind of justify pre-ordering some of them. And the next question was, mention 3 manga covers that you would like on a figure. Ooh, that one was tough because there's a lot that I would love to see. So I went and I picked 3 that I like absolutely really want. One would be Hawk from Beyond of the Dawn. One with him sitting like this with like his swords and everything. I think that would be fantastic, so I'd love to see like this get turned into one. They've already made a figure of the first volume of this series, but I would absolutely love to see a figure of this character. I love him so much. Just think how gorgeous it would look. Like any of like the Witch Hat ones, they would be gorgeous, but especially this. Oh my gosh, like it would be so cool. He's such a great character too. Lastly, I know we are getting some Spy Family like things and stuff right now. I know we're gonna get an Android. I don't know if we're getting scales, but I would assume we would. But I would love to see them in their chairs, like in their little fancy designer chairs. I would kill for that. Like at least the main three. I think that'd be so cool. I would love that. And I feel like that could be a strong possibility, but you never know. I'll take any Spy Family figures I can get, but I just think that'd be fantastic to like pair them up together. That'd be so good. All right, the next one, we have about 3 questions in this, and one is, what is the first expensive figure that you remember being interested in? Then you seem to like BL Yaoi. Do you have any favorite tags slash subgenres? And then also, so about those 10 count binding figures, tell us. What are your thoughts on 10 count, and how did you get, or how did you find out get your hands on those figures? Okay, so for the first one, most expensive that I was interested in, I would say probably, honestly, the bunny figures. Like that was the most expensive, and I want to say the one that really set it off was my Lakis, which I've never even watched the series she's from, but she is just a stunning piece, and I think that sent me down the rabbit hole of bunny figures, honestly, because she was the first one that I like absolutely wanted to pre-order no matter the cost. So that kind of triggered that kind of expensive hobby. So I'd say that one. When it comes to BL Yaoi, favorite tags and subgenres, I don't know if I have like any specifics. I know one that I don't really love, and that's like the Omegaverse stuff. I'm not a huge fan of that one. I'll read it, but I will say I will read basically anything. Like I will give nearly everything a shot. No matter how weird or crazy. Like, I mean, I read things like MADK, and then I also like really wholesome ones like Sasuke and Miyano. So I was kind of like that, like either gradual friends to lovers thing or childhood friends to lovers. I like that kind of stuff. Also like enemies to lovers. I don't know if these are like tags or anything, but I was like that. I like some that just have a ton of drama. I like some that just have a massive amount of smut. I like the funny, like kind of smutty ones too. I think like the tag maybe that I go to the most is like some that I don't want to say on here. I guess like BDSM and stuff like that. Anyways, I'd say those are kind of my like main things. Yeah, but I mean, I'll basically read anything unless it's like little too much, where it's like, okay, that's just like illegal. But I'll try nearly everything. I like to open my mind to a lot of different things. And then when it comes to the 10 count binding figures and my thoughts on 10 count, I do really like 10 count. I think it was actually one of the first like series that I got into and physically bought. I like it. I do. I like the overall concept and the characters. I will say certain things left a bad taste in my mouth, or I just kind of felt it was weird, and that's mainly like how they both kind of became who they are and like have their issues, like where those came from. A little weird. But overall, I do really think 10 Count's a good story, and I would recommend people try it. Again, I feel like it's a pretty typical thing, unfortunately, in yaoi, a lot of unconsensual stuff at first, so just a heads up on that. But I don't know, it's pretty good. I like the characters a lot, And now for how I got the figure. Scrolling through my figure collection, happened to stumble upon seeing what kind of figures they had, because I think I was just searching like anything I could be interested in, or I don't remember exactly how I saw it. I think maybe when I was on eBay and I was looking for the bunnies, I think that's when I found the binding one. And so then I put it into like my wish list on my figure collection, and I would just kind of go sometimes and check the kind of notifications and see if anything was showing up in any shops. And there was one for like J figure, I think is where I got it, and it was listed for like $300-ish if I recall right. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. That's like the best deal I have seen. It's not a good deal, but I just went ahead and bit the bullet, and the rest is history. The next question is, have you ever regretted buying any figures? Yes and no. I think it's not even specific figures. I would say like maybe like there's a few, but I feel like I sold the ones that I was like, I just kind of got, because I got way too into the hobby way too quick, and I just was like, I have to collect everything, and anything that's like a good deal, I'm gonna pick it up. So I wouldn't say like I fully regret any of the figures I bought. I do personally wish I would have thought out my end goal with my collection a little more. And I mean, I'm still just like sporadically buying, but I kind of wish I had more of a direction. And I also wish I didn't just hop onto anything that was like, oh, that looks a good deal, and I just think it's a pretty figure and I'm gonna do it. And I wish I would have went slower. I wish I didn't just like go ham and like, again, any good deal I just snapped up if I was even slightly interested into the figure. So I kind of regret that, just because I did not need to go this crazy within like my first year of figure collecting. So I do kind of wish I settled down on that. I think I'm getting better at kind of like looking at figures and like, is that really worth it? Do I really like that enough? Do you think I'll care about this character once, like, especially with seasonal ones, do I think I'll care about this character after the season ends? Because I have bought some figures that's like, once season ends, like, I don't care about them nearly as much as I did. So yeah, I wouldn't say I fully regret, because I do love my collection and I do love the pieces I have. I just wish I would have paced myself a little more. This question is, do you have an opinion and description on pop-ups? I'm assuming pop-up parades. I know the description, I think, is they're just like supposed to be like more affordable figures that are like a little higher quality than prize figures. And I will say my opinion on them is I personally don't think they are worth it. I think they do have a few that are good ones. There's actually one that I am kind of considering getting, but I honestly don't know if I will, because I just don't like pop-up parades. And it sucks because I do wish I did, because sometimes they do make more characters than certain other companies make. But I absolutely hate the bases. I feel like they're super inconsistent. I know the price is going up on them too, so I don't honestly even know if it's really worth it anymore. And I don't know, I just don't like them. I think they have too many quality control issues too, or sometimes the figures or the like pop-up parades just don't look good in the end product. I don't know, I personally pass on them. I really, unless I'm like completely sold, but I'd say 99% of the time I look at them, I don't care. I'm kind of glad they're pop-up parades sometimes, so I don't have to spend more money on them. Personally, I think there's so many better like prize figures being made for even cheaper than a pop-up parade. Like Taito has great ones and stuff like that. I would look more into those over pop-up parades in my opinion. I'm not a big fan, not gonna lie. And the next question is, what is your favorite anime? Whew, that one's tough too. I say probably my top 3 are Banana Fish, Fruits Basket, and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Those ones all have impacted me in a way that certain other series haven't, and I think that like these ones stick with me the most, the ones that I wanted to learn more and more and more about. and find myself gravitating towards buying any merch from that series. And those are probably my top ones. I just think those are all just absolutely fantastic and ones that I would rewatch. I will say maybe besides Banana Fish, because I don't want to be sad. I'd maybe watch it up to like the last few episodes. But those are the ones that just like really stuck with me the most. And next question we have, what are your current faves in your collection? Has there ever been a figure you wanted but didn't buy for whatever reason? Current faves in my collection are all my Banana Fish ones. So like, I'll pop those all on the screen. Of course, I would say my Chio bunny. I love her so much. She is one of my favorites. And one of the new ones that I haven't shown yet, so I'm gonna keep that one a surprise, but it's a Shibuya Scramble one. And I think it's one of my favorites. I think it's a fantastic, fantastic piece. But I think those are my main ones, yeah. Looking around. But like, oh, I also really like my Card Capture Sakura one too. But I think that's it for like, these are like absolute must-haves in my collection. Like my favorites. Yeah, I think so. And then has there ever been a figure that I have wanted but didn't buy? I'm sure there's some that I just like can't think of which ones specifically, but it always comes down to if I personally think that the figure is worth the price, or if I don't 100% trust the company in delivering the product, like Union Creative and stuff like that, or Beeful and Fox Japan. Those are ones that I would like not get no matter how much I like the piece. But it always comes down to the cost. Like if it's where I'm like, that's too much for what that is, I will pass. Unless I like absolutely love the character so much that I'm like, no, this is perfect. Or I will say if I don't like the face, if the face looks horrendously off, I won't do it. Like that's why it's like a lot of Gojo figures I ended up passing on. Because it's just like, eh. Or if I think they're too plain, I will pass on those as well. This one's also kind of the same, along the same lines as the last one. If you had to pick one, what would be your favorite figure out of your collection? Again, gonna have to go with my Banana Fish one. I literally cried when I got this one. Like this one was like, since I started collecting and even discovered that it existed, I was searching for it constantly. And I think I got a pretty good deal. Like, it wasn't great, but it was better than what I was seeing. So I think if it came down to where I had to sell everything for whatever reason, that would be the one that I think I couldn't. I think I would just have it forever. Like, it's such an important piece to me. So I'd have to go with that one. The next question is, how did you get into figure collecting? Like, what was your journey? Or which anime manga had inspired you to take on this hobby? I would honestly say, I don't think there was like one specific series that got me into it, but finding more and more series to enjoy and wanting to find more merch for them, I think led into it. So I would say just like anime and manga as a whole, like the more I got into it, the more I'm like, okay, there's so much cool merch out there, and oh my god, there's figures of them, that's insane. So I think that's kind of what started the journey, is just getting more into the hobby, or getting more into like anime and manga as a whole. I would say, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not 100% sure what got me into figure collecting. I think mainly watching other people talk about it, and like just I think sometimes like different content creators would get put onto my For You page on like YouTube. I don't know if that's a For You page, I think I'm thinking of TikTok, but like it would be suggested to me, and I start clicking on them and I'm like, wow, yeah, that stuff's really cool, it looks really awesome. And then I just found, that they had a anime figure subreddit on Reddit, and I started looking at those. I'm like, okay, that's really cool. Then I stumbled into my figure collection, and it just like grew from there and like I started discovering more and more things. And then once I kind of feel like I got a feel of like, what scales are and androids are, like kind of what everything is in this hobby, I started to dive into it. And I think like the first figure that even really sold me was my Tamari one from Naruto. because I was basically only buying prize figures because I'm like, oh yeah, that's fine, that's justifiable, they're cheap. That was my first scale, and seeing the details on that and just how gorgeous it is and how awesome honestly they look to display, I think that's really what set the like burning passion I had. And from there, it's like my brain's also very like gets very fixated on hobbies for a long period of time though too. That's the other thing. It's not like a short burst. Like if I'm into it, I'm into it for a while and possibly the rest of my life. From there, like I kept looking at more things and finding Ami, learning about different places that ship like cheaper options. Like the more I learned, the more I was like, this is awesome. And then I started, you know, posting about it on my YouTube, and honestly that was the best thing I ever did because it kind of gave me, I'm very passionate about it, I guess. Like it gave me the niche that I was looking for my channel overall. And I love kind of, you know, filming these things and talking about them. And, you know, I just think this is such a great community. And I think that's kind of just where it happened. Like it just, like one video spiraled this all. And then buying my first scale, like kind of scale figure, just, it went crazy. And yeah, I think that the rest is history. That's pretty much kind of what it started at. It's like, it just kind of happened. It's crazy. The next question we have is, which anime manga character do you like to cosplay the most, and which one haven't you cosplayed but you would love to? So the one I like to cosplay the most is probably, I would say, Nobara from Jujutsu Kaisen. I really like how it like her wig and her outfit like sits on me, if that makes sense. So I really like that. Or any of the Demon Slayer characters, because they have such comfortable outfits, and like I feel like you can have one base outfit and do so many characters with that. Or also Inosuke from Demon Slayer. I love to cosplay him too. And then one that I would like to cosplay, Raphtalia from Rising of Shield Heroes. I really like her outfit and her hair and like the little raccoon ears. I think that'd be fun. And also Makima from Chainsaw Man. So that's the one. And then Yor from Spy Family. Those are my like 3 ones that I really want to do eventually. And I think I just like so many ideas. Also any like Genshin Impact characters. I love all their outfits. The only downside is I'm not talented enough to sew these outfits myself, so I have to buy them, and Genshin characters have very expensive outfits. So one day. This question is, are you tired of cleaning your figures? Yes. I will say yes and no, honestly. I wish I had room for details, because I would definitely put some of those in to not have to dust them, but all mine have to be like open displayed basically. I hate doing it all the time because like it is very tedious and I'm always scared I'm gonna break something. But I also kind of like it at the same time because it gives me a chance to rearrange and also I think spend more time with my figure. If that makes sense. Like I kind of feel like I appreciate more details, or I find something new on that figure that I haven't noticed before because, you know, you're up close doing all the little dusting. So I'd say that it definitely gives me a chance to really like, you know, look at the things that I spend a ton of money on up close and genuinely like get to see more detail. Right, if you could pick 3 figures from your collection to keep, who would you choose and why? Obviously the first one is my banana fish one. Can't stop talking about that one. Holds a very special place in my heart and it was a big grail for me to get. The second one would be I would say my Chio bunny. I just think she's absolutely stunning and like I am obsessed. And the third one would probably be my Kaguya bunny, mainly because she was one that I was really anticipating to get, and I think she's beautiful, and she's also she's my personal favorite character from Kaguya-sama, so I'd have to go with her. Yeah, I think those are my 3. Next question is, what are your favorite childhood anime? I'm gonna be honest, I really don't have one. I kind of got more into anime as I got older and I was like just getting out of high school. But my brothers are honestly probably a big influence of why I even like anime. They have liked it their entire life, so I've always been around it. I will say, I don't know if these like count as an anime, but like Hamtaro was something I really loved. And it's not really an anime either, but like Sanrio loved Hello Kitty. So those are kind of what really maybe got me into, like, I guess that kind of style of like animation and different things like that. And I did really enjoy watching Pokemon with my brothers. I wasn't like dedicated into the show, but that was one that they watched a lot, and I would definitely like stick around and watch with them. So I want to say those are probably my main ones out of not really having like a main childhood one. But Pokemon still is I always thought that was really cool, even when I wasn't into anime really. Next question is, if you had to read one manga or keep one figure for the rest of your life, which would it be? Since I kind of already answered the figure one, I will answer the manga one. Ooh, that one's tough. Oh my goodness. I would say Fruits Basket, because I think that story is just something I could keep reading and never get sick of, and constantly find new little details that connect from like one part of the story to another. It's just so good, and it makes me feel so many emotions. So I'd have to say that. I really love Fruits Basket, and I feel like there's enough to like keep myself occupied for a decent amount of time, with being 23 volumes, or if you have the collector's edition, it's like 1 through 12. But yeah, that would be it. Fruits Basket, it's important to me. Alright, and for the last question, we have about 3 of them. So in this comment we have, how do you keep track of your pre-orders and when they're coming out? Use a certain software spreadsheet, and is there a template that you would recommend using for us who might not have a lot of experience making templates? What kind of rotating base are you using in this video, and where did you get it? And for those of us who are thinking of creating our own YouTube channel for our anime collections, what recommendations do you have for starting to build your channel and start gaining views and subscribers? Okay, so for the first one, I honestly don't really use a thing online. I keep track of it in my planner. My planner is my life. I never thought I'd be that person because I wasn't through school, but for this, sure. So I always just keep it in the notes section, and I like track everything that I am pre-ordering, or again, my figure collection, I just put all my stuff there. Also, I check AmiAmi a lot, or like wherever I've ordered them, and I keep an eye on like when they're coming out, how soon, did anything get pushed back? I think because I'm so like into this hobby, not even just as a hobby, but also something that I would almost deem what I do like a second job, very loose terms, but it does take a lot of effort. And I think because I'm always trying to look for things, or since I do create content, trying to stay up on everything, that has definitely helped me really keep track. So I will say, like, I always have like a main part that I write down all my pre-orders for the year, and as things change, I just always put it into the new month. So like with my planner, I put like, okay, so for May, I'll go look at all the sites that I order from. Okay, this one's coming out May, this one's coming out. Write it down, total up what I'm gonna kind of be expecting to pay, and also anticipate for delays as well. So that's kind of mainly what I use. I actually started using a spreadsheet, but I just use the Notes app on my MacBook. It's basically an Excel sheet. I keep it very basic, and I just set a page basically for each month. So nothing really too special. I guess I kind of suck with that, or it's like I feel like I put way too much time in trying to make it look a certain way that it's not even worth it. So yeah, writing it down is my biggest thing, and you know, since I am pretty obsessed with this hobby, I just kind of know which ones are coming out, or I just keep going and constantly checking their my figure collection page. That's my biggest thing that helps me a lot. The next part is, you know, what kind of rotating base am I using? I don't know the specific brand, I'm not gonna lie, but I just found, I just typed in on Amazon a toy, or like a spinning toy base, or you know, like a rotating toy display, I think, something like that. I'm trying to remember, but just type that in, something will pop up, and there's so many that show up on Amazon, and so many different types and colors. The one I have, like, I love like kind of the size, and they always put the dimension and the size, so you can kind of decide what you want from there. I got mine, I think it was like secondhand from somebody on there, like a third-party seller, so I don't know the specifics, I'm not gonna lie, but just type that in on Amazon and things will pop up and you will have an array of options. And then the question with if you're thinking of creating your own YouTube channel, what do I have? What can I recommend for you, like, building your platform? I kind of think I feel like I'm not even doing that amazing of a job. Like, I feel like I'm doing good, but honestly, a lot of it's going to come down to YouTube recommending your stuff for people to find. That's the only kind of downside, but the way to kind of do that is consistent posting. I know I sometimes struggle with that because of working so much, or I just get really depressed and it's kind of hard to do things. But trying to post at least once a week is going to be a huge thing for it to start to gain momentum, and for YouTube to recognize that, hey, this is showing up, and they'll start putting you into the algorithm. That's really the biggest thing that's going to get you views and subscribers. Just in this time, it's taken me at least, like, I think I've been doing this for a little over a year, or almost, I don't remember, but it definitely takes time. Don't be discouraged. If it's not growing right away, it's gonna be awkward for a while, to be honest. Like, you're gonna be talking to a camera and putting so much work into something that might not get really hardly any views. So it really has to be, I believe, a passion for you, as like kind of cliche as that is, because this is going to essentially, depending how much work and how much time and stuff you want to put into it, this could become like a second job with editing, filming, you know, getting things set up. It's tough. And the best suggestion I can also give, if you are wanting to create one, is just go ahead and do it and start. You will make mistakes, but honestly, that was the best learning experience for me. I feel like throughout the time that I've been doing it, I'm learning more and more things, or I'm trying new things, and I feel like I'm starting to find my niche and things that I like. I also, if you also want to start, maybe find like people who make content similar to what you want to make and kind of get inspired. Because there's some people, like, I love their content, but I personally just could not make it. Like, I don't have the equipment or the talent for it. So kind of finding like, okay, I really like to watch these videos and I really want to make videos like this, so how am I going to? It's going to be trial and error. So just honestly, go for it and see what happens. Things can be rough for a while, but that's fine. It's all about the process. And honestly, if I didn't just start, because I mean, I wanted to start a channel for a long time, but something was always holding me back, being like, no, it has to be this. Like, I want it to be perfect, blah, blah, blah. It's not going to be. There's going to be a lot of bumps in the road, and it's going to be a huge learning curve, but definitely just go for it and try. Best thing also is going to be lighting. Try to get at least a ring light, because that's what I use, a ring light, and I use my phone. I use my phone to film, and this little Rode mic, and that's it. And then I edit on Final Cut Pro on my MacBook. Like, because everything, you can always keep growing and trying new things as you go, but the biggest thing is to just start, and you will learn the flow that you really want as time goes on. So definitely give it a shot. It's fun. I really love what I do, because at the end of the day, it is a hobby, but I do want it to turn into more. But yeah, it's like having a second job at the same time, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. I absolutely love making these like this video and content and stuff for you guys, and I have a great time. I will say another thing that might help, and there's no guarantee, is getting on other platforms too, like TikTok and stuff. I always just link my channel in those things, and if people want to find it, they will. But it's not like a guaranteed thing. But I also really like doing that too. Like I really like making TikToks as well, because I think it's fun. So just have fun with it and give it a shot. Alright guys, that is all I have for you today. Thank you again to everyone who asked a question or entered the giveaway. As time goes on and we keep growing this channel, there will be more and more giveaways, so don't you worry if you did not win this time. I appreciate all of you. You're all just absolutely fantastic, sweet people, and I love this little community that we have forming. Alright guys, I will catch you in the next one. Bye!